Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is officially that time of year where we start our fall wardrobe planning, and I figured we could just talk through my fall mood board, and I want to tell you guys about what colors and patterns and textures, the things that are inspiring my vibes for this fall season. Okay, so first things first, what is the actual vibe this fall? Like, what are we going for? What are we doing? And for me, lately, I have just been taking a step back and looking at some of my older outfits and just like trying to remember what are the things that I used to wear that I really, really loved and I wore over and over and over again, because I have found myself wanting to take a step back, and I found myself attracted to things that I used to be attracted to, things that I felt like were very me and I was very into. So lucky enough, I have a YouTube channel so I can go back and see, you know, my older outfits and really think about, oh my gosh, I really love that. Why did I stop wearing that? You know, so I've been doing a lot of that lately. And then I really have just come to the conclusion that I want to pull in some of those things that I used to love so much and just really refine how I style them, elevate it, and really fine tune things. So this fall, I'm really feeling drawn to deep earth tones, chocolate browns, and I feel like I just haven't been pulling enough of that into my wardrobe. And so it is something that is still trending, so I think I'll be able to pull in a little bit more of that this fall. And I always love a great olive green, and I want to do more like jewel tone greens and just earth tones in general, incorporating more of those. And as far as like styles, like a preppy style, I love preppy, like heritage kind of dressing, and that has been something I've always loved. And I was just reminded of that recently with the new Ralph Lauren campaign. I just think what they did is absolutely gorgeous, and I love like how they highlighted things and just reminding me how much I love that kind of style. And so I definitely want to incorporate more of that. And there are so many Ralph Lauren like classic pieces that I'm loving that I definitely want to add more of in my wardrobe. So very excited about that. And then some things are just recurring in my wardrobe no matter what the season is. And that's interesting neutrals. I have been loving Python. That's one of my favorite neutrals. I would not define the wardrobe that I am looking to create this fall and winter as edgy, experimental, or anything like that. I would really define it as classic, timeless, and refined. And that's something that I feel like really fits the description of what I love and what I like. And I'm excited to just bring more of that back into my wardrobe. Now, of course, I want a very cozy and comfortable, like lived in, sophisticated wardrobe for this fall and winter. And so when I think about the color palette that I want to go for, it's definitely the neutrals, but very saturated, very rich tones is what I'm being drawn to. Like ambers, olives, chocolate browns, creams, and camel. I love a nice rich camel. That is a color I wore a lot. And for some reason, I kind of like steered away from it. I guess it got boring to me. I really don't even know what it is, but I find myself really gravitating toward it now. So I feel like I'll be incorporating a lot more of that. And then I'm gonna layer in just like my gold accessories. I'm gonna bring in a lot of the chunkier pieces that I was wearing all summer. I'm gonna bring that right into the fall and winter. But one thing about the cooler months, I tend to wear like less like cocktail or chunkier rings. And then I'll probably do more of maybe like a bold earring, but not something too substantial, because you know, once you get into like coat season, you might have more layering with the scarves and things like that. So I'll do more like bold post earrings, bolder necklaces that I can layer with my sweaters, maybe like V-neck cashmeres, things like that. I think that is absolutely gorgeous. And of course you can layer with like your belts. Stacking belts is going to be huge. I think that's going to be really great. And I have been looking into that, and I'm someone who really thinks I'm going to get into belts every season. When I see like a nice bold statement belt, anytime like belts are back on trend and I can find a lot of belts that I love, I find myself gravitating toward them, but I never actually wear them. So that's something I'm like putting to the side. I don't know if I'm gonna get into the belts, but I think it's a really gorgeous look. It's a really great way to accessorize and jazz up some pieces that you might already have. Like if you have coats or blazers that you want to give a tailored or cinched look, especially because we were doing such oversized pieces. But I do want to bring back in more like tailored, refined silhouettes. And I was wearing a lot of blazers previously, things like that, where I can get more of a structured look. That's where I feel myself being pulled to. And blazers are going to be a key piece of my fall and winter wardrobe. I used to wear blazers so much and I found myself wanting to go back to that. And I want a more structured silhouette. Like, I really love oversized, kind of easy outfits, but I also want to pull back in more of the structured, tailored pieces that I once loved so much. And blazers are gonna be a key piece of my wardrobe. And then like my knits, I love a good knit. That's something I love all year round. But for this fall and winter, I want to stick to some oversized pieces, but also bring in more actual fitted like knitwear. Nice, maybe thinner kind of like turtlenecks that I can layer under my blazers nicely. Something that's a little bit more form-fitting to the body. Not tight, but just a really nice structured silhouette, like I'm saying. I really love that entire tailored look, and I feel like I do want to bring in more of those pieces this fall and winter. Midi skirts. Now, I'm not really like following the trends this season. I'm not really looking to them too much, but I do like to just see what's going on, because if there is a piece that I love, I can bring that in. And midi skirts, I'm so happy that I have seen more and more midi skirts pop up, but more of like a circle skirt style. And you guys know I have that black one from Parke, and that is more of like a parachute material. It's not very heavyweight, it's not wool or anything like that for the winter, but in the beginning of the fall, I can definitely still style that up a lot. So I'm going to play around with styling that, and then hopefully I can get my hands on a midi skirt that's more of like a cold weather fabric. So I can style it with boots and maybe like even loafers and cute blazers on top. That would be a great look. But I really like a good circle skirt, like a midi length circle skirt, and kind of a chunky knit on top. I think that would be so cozy and gorgeous. And I definitely have that pinned to my mood board. I've had that kind of like silhouette in my head for a while now, and a long time. But I feel like because circle skirts, they aren't always like on trend, and they're not always so easy to find. So right now might be the best time for me. So hopefully I can really grab some good ones. Now let's talk about footwear, because every fall and winter, I'd like to grab a new pair of boots if I can. Like if it's a pair that I feel like is definitely going to make a difference in my, boot collection, I like to grab a new pair because it just refreshes my footwear for that season. And the colder months are a little bit longer, so I know I can get my wear out of a great pair of boots. But one style in particular that I want to add to my wardrobe this season is a pair of riding boots. When I love my riding boots, I wear them into the ground. And I love an equestrian style overall with a tailored blazer, maybe a plaid, a great pair of leggings, and a riding boot. I really like that look, and it can be easy like cold weather uniform. Not when it's too cold, obviously, but the end of fall when it gets really chilly, but just before winter, that is a really, really great fall uniform. And you can throw on a turtleneck and even get a little bit more wear out of it as it gets a little bit colder. I just am not decided if I want to do like a caramel color or if I want to stick to black, because I have been wearing a lot of black and loving that. But we can figure that out when I come across that pair that I feel like is it for me. And another style I'll be incorporating more of are loafers. I love a good loafer. Now that's something that's a classic. It's never going to go out of style, a loafer or a riding boot. But when it's not on trend, sometimes you can't find, interesting versions of it or even versions that fit your style, So happy that loafers are still going strong as far as the trends. And last winter, I tried out a pair of suede loafers from Steve Madden. I still have those actually. I really like them. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and make the investment in a high-end pair of suede loafers. But overall, definitely incorporating more suede into my wardrobe. I showed you guys recently that I bought that suede cardigan from Madewell. Love it. I got the little suede handbag from Madewell. And you don't have to spend a lot when it comes to incorporating, more of these specific kind of items into your wardrobe. You can definitely find them at different price points, and you might even find them on sale. I'll actually link to some of the items that I'm thinking about adding to my fall winter wardrobe, as far as coats, blazers, and obviously right now is when the transition is happening as far as what's available on the market. Now we're gonna start seeing more and more fall pieces coming in. So I'll continue to share with you guys, of course, and update the list. But whatever I do have right now that I know I'm going to rewear this fall and season that I've had from previous fall winters, I will link those if they are available as well. And with my accessories, I'm going to be layering and bringing in a lot of the accessories that I was styling over the summer, like my silk scarves. And I already spoke about my chunky, bold gold jewelry. But when it comes to my scarves, I'm going to be layering them with my trench coats. And trench coats are going to be a great way that you can refresh your fall wardrobe without having to do too much. A great trench coat for the fall. and the spring. So if you already got a great one from the spring, bring it right back out, because now you can rewear it again for the fall, and a great coat for the winter. And a lot of times when you find those pieces that really speak to your personal style, you only have to make that investment one time. If you already have a really great black wool coat, you don't have to worry about getting another one, you know? You can just play around with the accessories now. Or like I said, just get a new pair of boots to refresh things and make those pieces that you've had for so long feel new again. And with some of the less expensive pieces, you can update them with a different texture or color or a print to make that feel new again as well. So if you know you love a really great turtleneck every fall and winter, then maybe just try a brush cashmere. It gives you a little bit of texture, but it's the same silhouette and style that you always go for. So you know you're gonna wear it a lot, but it adds a little something extra to your wardrobe. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll just be playing around with the textures that I add, and I'm gonna stick to the silhouettes that I've always loved and I know work for me and my body type. But if I can elevate them in any way and refine them, then I'm gonna do that. And when it comes to wardrobe planning, I think initially it's very exciting with seeing the new collections that are coming out and getting inspired that way. But I think the best way to sustain and have a wardrobe that you are really excited about is not trying too many of the trends. It's fun to dibble and dabble, of course, to refresh things, maybe add a couple. But overall, think about the silhouettes, the styles, the colors that you have been drawn to in the past, and how you felt when you wore them. If it's something that made you feel good, if you feel like you actually looked your best in those, that's what you want to go back to. So if you can, if you look through your Instagram and you see old photos of yourself, or if you just go through your closet and see some of the things that are way in the back that you haven't worn, wow, this is really cute. Why did I stop wearing it? If I can't fit it anymore, then maybe I need to go find a similar item in the size that fits me now. Or I want to update this because it's a little cheap. I got it, I tried it, but it worked out. I really liked it, but it's a little cheap. So maybe I want to make the investment in a better quality version of that thing. And a great way to stay inspired is just looking on Pinterest. I found myself looking at older ads, like from the 70s. I really like looking at images from the 40s and 30s, and looking at images of like real life people in everyday life. Like there are a lot of YouTube channels, what are people wearing in New York? You can see what people, just random everyday people are wearing in New York City. You can watch videos like that for inspiration. But sometimes I like to take a step back and look at older time periods, because there was something very like interesting about a lot of the way people dressed, and there was just a better quality of things. Everything just looked a little bit more elegant, even if it was just casual everyday clothing. And I feel like that's what's giving me my inspiration for this fall and winter, just looking back and seeing what I loved before and what I feel looked good on people before. And I'm not so much looking for like, edgy newness. I want to recreate the things that I know work and are very elegant. So that's where I'm at with it this fall and winter. Let me know how your fall wardrobe planning is going. What silhouettes and styles are you guys going for? Are you going for more of earth tone, rich, neutral vibe? Or are you going for bright, saturated colors that you want to bring from the summer into the fall? Or are you doing something totally different from anything you've ever done before? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it, and let's kick off this fall fashion. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I would love to have you. And if you want to catch me on any of my other platforms, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, all that is in the description box, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.